Spurs are all over the back pages today as we put 4 past Newcastle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday. Destiny Udogie with his first goal for the club, Richarlison with a brace and Heung-min Son from the penalty spot. Spurs remain 5th in the Premier League table. Spurs 4, Newcastle 1.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews, legend interviews, Spurs winning, press conferences, covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Spurs in the Media, where I'll be going through all of today's newspapers, looking at all of the articles and player ratings from the game on Sunday. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Newcastle 1. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get straight into it. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Newcastle 1. Let's have a look at today's Daily Mail. And on the back page here, it's got this wonderful picture of Heung-min Son, Basuma, Lo Celso and Brennan Johnson all celebrating Tottenham's win. It says Sonny and cheer. He strikes the right note as Spurs end 5-game winless run. It then goes on to say that Ange Postecoglou hailed the industry of fit again Richarlison and the leadership of Heung-min Son as Tottenham ended a 5-game winless run in style. There's also a double-page spread from the Daily Mail today, and it says here, Spurs win a canter with a style that says Ange Ball is back. It is the way of English football that when a man like Ange Postecoglou comes along and dares to do things a little differently, there are those who lust for his downfall. They had scented his blood as darkness fell over North London yesterday, and Postecoglou's Tottenham side faced the prospect of losing for the 5th time in 6 matches. Also in this article from the Daily Mail, it says Spurs can't stop scoring first. Tottenham has scored the first goal in 13 league games this season, more than any other side. They are the first side to score first in 10 consecutive Premier League matches since Manchester City did so back in 2021. And they have now scored at least once in each of their last 28 Premier League games. Only Brighton, 32 games, are currently on a longer run. This was Tottenham's joint biggest win of the season. So after this game, Tottenham Hotspur 4, Newcastle 1. Spurs remain 5th in the Premier League table, played 16, won 9, drawn 3, lost 4. Have scored 33 goals, conceded 23, got a goal difference of plus 10. We have 30 points, 3 points away from top 4 and 7 points away from league leaders Liverpool. Now, of course, Spurs went 1-0 up after 26 minutes through Destiny Udogie. Richarlison doubled Tottenham's lead after 38 minutes. Richarlison then grabbed another goal in the 60th minute, putting Spurs 3-0 up. Heung-min Son made it 4 from the penalty spot after 85 minutes, and Joe Linton scoring for Newcastle in the 91st minute. Now, the player ratings today from the Daily Mail, they have given Vicario a 6.5, Pedro Porro a 7.5, which I think is pretty harsh. I think that Pedro Porro had a fantastic game on Sunday against Newcastle. He has been a consistent performer for Spurs this season. Christian Romero a 7 out of 10, Ben Davies a 6.5, Udogie a 7.5, Sarr a 7, Sub Højbjerg a 6, Basuma a 7, Kulusevski a 7, Brennan Johnson a 6.5, Richarlison they have given an 8 out of 10, Lo Celso sub 6.5, and they have given star man of the match to Heung-min Son 9 out of 10. Now for a report from the Daily Star today, and it says here, Ange's rich pickings. Of course, this picture here of Richarlison celebrating. It says Postecoglou gets rare joy from Brazilian. In the end, the only consolation for Newcastle was it could have been worse. This was a proper humiliation and the worst possible preparation for their make-or-break Champions League crunch game with AC Milan on Wednesday. Tottenham battered Newcastle with a scintillating attacking performance to get back to the early season optimism from Ange Postecoglou's fabulous start to the campaign. The player ratings from the Daily Star today, they have given Vicario and Pedro Porro both 7s, Romero a 6, Davis a 7, Udogie a 7, Basuma a 6, Sarr a 7, Kulusevski a 7, Brennan Johnson a 7, Heung-min Son a 7. They have given star man of the match to Richarlison, who of course scored a brace for Spurs. They have given him an 8 out of 10. Now a report from the Guardian newspaper, and it says here, Richarlison finds form to add to Newcastle's away day problems. Tottenham scored first, obviously. It was a moment to remember for Destiny Udogie, his first goal for the club, and at that point in the 26th minute, the scene was set. In each of their previous 5 Premier League games, Spurs have scored first, only to lose 4 and draw 1. It was an unprecedented series of collapses. Could they finally capitalise from a position of strength? Ange Postecoglou's players gave the answer that he wanted. Of course, they could, mate. Now for a report from today's Daily Telegraph, and it says here, Son provides spark for Spurs to show off Ange ball at its best. When Tottenham Hotspur play as well as this, it's hard to keep up, but it is football played in a whiz and a blur. The ball and the players moving at such speed, you always feel that you are a split second behind the action. There is another heading here. Romero avoids red after crazy tackle. Now, Ange Postecoglou after the game said we had fresher legs than Newcastle, and that is what we needed to win this game. I don't want to make excuses for Eddie Howe, but I know what he's going through. When you have 2 or 3 important players missing in a Premier League game, you're going to feel it. We have experienced that too. We're trying to build something here, and there are going to be some tough times as well. Ange Postecoglou then went on to talk about Heung-min Son and said Sonny was excellent, causing problems. Other guys see that authority and they take the lead from that. You rely on your leaders to take initiative. Our front third play was as good as it's been for a while. The player ratings from the Daily Telegraph today, they have given Vicario a 6, Pedro Porro a 7, Romero a 7, Davis a 7, Udogie a 7, Basuma a 7, Pape Matar a 6, Kulusevski a 6, Johnson a 7, Richarlison 8. They have given star man to Heung-min Son 9 out of 10. Now for a report from the Times newspaper, and it says here, Son sets tone as Spurs hit top gear again. It then says possession, Tottenham Hotspur 57% to Newcastle's 43%. Shots on target, Spurs 12, Newcastle 3. Fouls, Spurs 10, Newcastle 12. Now the player ratings from the Times newspaper today, Vicario a 7, Pedro Porro an 8. That is more like it, in my opinion. Romero a 6, Davis a 7, Udogie a 7, Basuma a 7, Sarr a 7, Johnson a 7, Kulusevski an 8, Heung-min Son, Starman 9 out of 10, Richarlison 8 out of 10. Now for a report from the Sun newspaper today, and the main heading states Ange's route to get you, thumping win as he keeps faith. Perhaps Ange Postecoglou does know what he is doing at Tottenham after all. It then states that Heung-min Son has now reached double figures in the Premier League for an 8th successive season, and the Tottenham skipper's tally of 10 for the campaign already equals his 2022-2023 total. On the back page of today's Daily Express, it says Wilson accuses Vicario of a lack of respect for goading him in rout. Toon taunter. It then states that Callum Wilson accused Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Vicario of a lack of respect after an angry bust-up. A double-page spread in today's Daily Express, and it says here Spurs strike it rich as Toon falter. Brazilian leads from the front to help Ange back on track. In the end, the only consolation for Newcastle was it could have been worse. Now for a report from the I newspaper, and it states here Richarlison double gets Tottenham back on track. Tottenham Hotspur finally kept a lead. Richarlison finally scored without his head, and goalkeeper Vicario came so close to keeping a clean sheet. Now, the I newspaper have given player of the match to Heung-min Son. They state here 2 fantastic assists for Tottenham's first 2 goals and a penalty. They have also quoted Ange Postecoglou talking about Richarlison and said, yeah, Richie was great, really important for us. I thought him and Pape Matar coming in gave us some real energy. We were going to need it today with the midweek fixture against West Ham, and I thought they did that. Obviously, for Richie, getting a couple of goals as a striker, that is really positive for him. But Richie was important to us at the start of the year too, but he wasn't fully fit. I think you could tell he was kind of restricted with his movements. At time, we had to play him out wide just to get him through games. But since he's come back, it's fair to say he feels a lot better physically. And I think that's really helped him mentally as well. It wasn't just about his goals, it was his general work rate, energy and physicality. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.